My name is Joey Hansen. I own Diversified Agronomy. I do crop consulting and custom strip till, mainly in the fall. I live in Elk Point, South Dakota, which is in the very southeast corner of South Dakota. We're primarily corn and soybeans. As you get a little west, we start to get into some more alfalfa ground. I do a lot of strip till, a lot of custom strip till in the fall. I run a 12-row Blue Jet Legacy with a 9-ton Montag twin bin cart. Variable rate fertilizer is becoming more of a common practice, and so I think you kind of get to combine the best of both worlds: precision ag, not only from the strip till practice, but the variable rate practice included also. So a lot of growers looking to jump into to both those practices kind of at the same time. 2013 fall was quite a challenge for strip till. We had excessive rain in the month of October, and so that created some challenges. Not only that, I spend quite a bit of time on the road. My range is probably 60 miles that I'll travel to do custom strip till work. And soil types, I think I hit just about every one we have in southeast South Dakota. Go into 3 different counties, and so I deal with a lot of variability. And so going into it, I needed to make sure that I was diverse with my strip till rig, knowing that I couldn't just pull into every grower's field and it was going to work as well as the last one did. So that's been interesting. It's been challenging, but it's been fun. I think this spring was a great example of the value in taking the time to properly set that machine up. We were talking earlier in a roundtable about emergence problems, and there were people saying, well, we really had to plow down deep to get into the moisture, and on the consulting side, I see a lot of everything. I see corn on corn. I see corn on soybeans. I see strip till. I see conventional till. I even see a little no-till. And this year it was nice to see the consistency of the strip till emergence. A lot more even, consistent emergence, right? And that's what everybody talks about, is the getting the plants out of the ground within 24 to 48 hours of each other. And so that was really nice to see. The growers were really happy about that. They were also enthused with the fact that if they typically planted 1.5 to 2 inches, they maintained that level in the strip till this year. They didn't have to go searching for moisture, where the conventional till guys, they were taking most of that moisture out when they did their spring tillage pass. So that was nice. And so far, all the way from planting, emergence, and all the way now into the early reproductive stages, that the strip till corn still looks phenomenal. So options. There's so many options. No-till. It's similar to conventional till, I think, and that was probably maybe some of the frustrating part, is there's so many options for conventional till. What was right? What piece of equipment do I buy this year because I didn't like the last one I had for the last few years? And part of it is growers that are interested in learning about the practice, they're learning about the benefits of strip till. I think they'd love to have that answer, and there is no one perfect answer. There's so many debates on width of berms, on widths of strips and heights of berms, and do we run baskets, do we run knives, what types of knives do we run, coulter systems do we run, spring versus fall. I truthfully do not believe that there's a wrong answer for an individual. I think there might just be a wrong answer for a situation, in a sense, really. So I think a lot of growers are interested in seeing what's working for certain individuals, understanding that what they may take back for insight might not end up being the route that they go necessarily. So I'm a big believer in knife to machines. I'm also a big believer in coulter machines. It just so happens I run a knife one. So it's really specific. I think the best thing that growers can do is come to an event like this, ask a lot of questions, get a lot of insight, and then try to make that decision based off of what they got for knowledge on a conference like this. And then it was really no different for myself. I did research for 5 years before I made that leap. I had no idea what machine was going to be right for me. It just so happened that the one I bought has worked extremely well. But then again, I think there's probably 4 to 6 other ones on the market that I could make work extremely well too. So you have to start with an idea, and then make sure that define your goal probably is the biggest thing. For me, it was to do a nice job making a good, consistent, even strip for a grower, for them to have minimal challenges come springtime planting into it. And so that was kind of my goal. And then not only that, out of that was I was allowed to have the benefit of the higher nutrient utilization, the efficiency of the banding. I understand that from an agronomic standpoint. And so those are just some decent selling points about the practice. But then in the end result, having that final goal that I wanted with that nice strip and perfect seed bed preparation, really. My range, typically I suppose it's somewhere in the range of maybe 12 to 15 growers. Within that 12 to 15 growers, I probably will hit 20 to 25 different soil types, in different situations. Maybe not even soil type variability so much. I mean, that's a big part of it. Maybe just grower variability. I mean, I might have a grower that doesn't know much about strip till, but knows that he doesn't want a 12-inch wide strip and he doesn't want a 3-inch tall berm. So working through some of those can be challenges, but I think having the conversation with the grower as far as the expectations that you have as a custom strip tiller out of your end result, to make sure that matches up with what his or her expectations of the final product for you is. So that's definitely one part of it. So 2013 was I think we mentioned this before, it was a really fun year, but it was an extremely challenging year. I mean, I don't know how much rain we had in October, but I think it rained every Tuesday in October. And so what I found out was when I would leave one grower's location to another guy 3 miles down the road, it was an absolute nightmare to strip till over there. So we would get to much higher CEC type soils. We'd have a lot higher clay content, and I wouldn't change anything. And maybe even field conditions might even get a little bit better, but there's something about those soils that change drastically. So I was pretty sure when I started last fall on the first couple hundred acres I did that I had the perfect machine. Probably 1,000 acres into it, I realized that I didn't have the perfect machine and I need to make some changes. So I'm absolutely, I've got a mold knife set up right now. I've got a vertical tillage attachment set up right now if I so desire. And I'm going to buy a set of narrower knives that I'm going to run a little shallower. And I'm also going to buy another set of the main coulters that run behind my trash whippers. Are a really aggressive, deep fluted coulter. They're great for certain situations, but they're not great for heavy, wet, gumbo, clay-based soils. They pose a challenge. So I think with that, I kind of created the thought that I had created in my mind last year that I had a great strip till machine has changed a little bit as far as I have a great strip till machine as long as I adapt to the conditions that I'm going into, which may be a year by year, field by field type situation. So I think even me knowing that I need to adapt, I need to be flexible to the situations that I find myself in. Realistically, if we didn't have much rain this fall, it was a pretty dry fall, I could probably go back in with the same setup that I did last year and have extremely good results. But that's probably not going to be realistic every fall, and so I need to be able to adapt. And just knowing that ahead of time, learning that last fall, made me realize that to the point so I am a little bit more prepared about that. A great example is there was some heavy ground that I fought for 3 days in a row just to get 160 acres done. A neighbor of his wanted me to do it, and I said I wouldn't do it at that time because I didn't want to have those same challenges. About 3 weeks later, I came back in early November and we had a real hard frost that night and it froze on the top inch or so of soil. I went back in, I stripped it early that morning, and it was some of the most beautiful strips I made all fall. So same soil types, about a half mile away, just a little bit different conditions. And so I learned that, and they both, believe it or not, they both planted really, really well this spring. So just adaptability, versatility is probably the name of the game.